Let's begin in the nation's capital, where residents are now seeing this: armed members of the National Guard on their streets. A military official tells CBS News that fewer than 50 Guards men and women will be carrying weapons, but the move itself is seen as a significant escalation of the president's federal takeover of the Capitol. CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen has been following this story and joins us now from our D.C. bureau. Good morning, Jake. So just help us understand the thinking here behind arming some troops and what really are their guidelines for using force.
Well, right now, Errol, it's about 50 of these troops, like you said, throughout the city. We've seen them mostly so far at transit hubs like in that video you just showed, and we saw some images over the weekend of them being stationed at Union Station, the main train hall here. The military and Pentagon say that the rationale for this is because under the rules of force, these service members are allowed to have these weapons on them. It's, again, part of this deterrent effort by the Trump administration, which this morning is touting 10 straight days here in the district without murders in the city. And again, these troops are being told to only operate and use these weapons as of a final force, last force. If their lives are threatened, if somebody comes up to them with the weapon, they are allowed to discharge these weapons. Certainly an escalation, though, coming on the first day of school here. And as we've seen throughout the country, sometimes police officers with firearms simply do not exactly use them or use them at the wrong time. So certainly a big development here over the weekend as the Trump administration is continuing to double down, sending more federal law enforcement here, sending more National Guard troops here, and now some of them are armed.
And we just looked at a stat from Attorney General Pam Bondi from this morning where she acknowledged there have been 1,000 arrests so far under this inclusion of military, National Guard troops in D.C. But what I found interesting from the information CBS News received from our sources was that while on one hand you've got these 50 Guards men and women being armed, but other troops are being assigned beautification orders. I mean, how is that being hard on crime? What does that mean as far as the different roles different troops have?
Well, it's part of what their duties are, because right now these National Guardsmen are only being assigned to protect federal monuments, federal properties. Part of that, they say, has obviously been protecting things like the National Mall. Part of this beautification effort that President Trump has ordered is to clean up the city as well. The city right now is vulnerable to needing a lot of cash. This big tax legislation that was pushed through by Congress and signed by President Trump took out significant funding that the city could use in the interim, at least right now. It appears that some of these guardsmen, in addition to patrolling subway stops, patrolling federal areas, protecting buildings, are also being used to help clean up the city.
Yeah, literally cleaning up the nation's capital. Jake Rosen with the latest from our D.C. bureau. Thank you, Jake. We want to jump now to CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand. She is at the White House for us this morning. Natalie, good morning to you once again. So, it seemed like over the weekend an off-the-cuff remark from President Trump when he mentioned he may deploy troops to other Democrat-led cities. But now with the clarity of Monday, how close is he to a final decision? Is this a real policy choice?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. Well, the White House pointing to his comments on camera from the Oval Office on Friday where, he did verbally threaten or say that he's looking into other cities, including Chicago, New York. We saw him also over social media mention Baltimore. But he also signaled that no concrete planning was underway at this point, even though there are reports out there by the Washington Post that the Pentagon is planning for some sort of deployment in Chicago. But, the governor there, J.B. Pritzker, says that the state has not received outreach, but they are taking this threat seriously. And local leaders there say that they will be prepared if something were to happen, and that they are also, exploring their legal options, calling this an abuse of power and unconstitutional, Errol.
And one other item, Natalie, we understand that at any moment, President Trump is expected to sign an executive order eliminating cashless bail in Washington, D.C. Help us understand what that is and why it's significant.
Yeah, the president has in the past railed against this policy, which has been in place in Washington, D.C. For the past few decades under the policy of cashless bail. For certain offenses, an arrested suspect wouldn't necessarily have to pay money to get out of jail before their pretrial hearings and their court process. The president, from what we understand, according to what the White House has told us this morning, will sign a policy or, an executive order aimed at trying to eliminate this policy, basically threatening to revoke federal funding in an effort to get D.C. to back away from this policy. They're most concerned with examining whether this is being used for violent offenses such as assaults, carjacking, burglary, and other offenses like that. A separate but related executive order also wants the Attorney General to look at other jurisdictions, such as New York and Los Angeles County, where this policy or versions of it are also in place, and wants the administration to identify potential federal funding that could be terminated or suspended. So clearly an effort to continue this anti-crime initiative and crack down on cities that he doesn't agree with how they are running their public safety or, criminal proceedings.
Yeah, and the nation's capital as a federal district means the president has slightly more leeway and power. It'll be interesting, to see how this cashless bail effort translates in other parts of the country where there is different jurisdiction. As soon as we see that, Natalie, we'll bring it to our viewers live, so stay close. Thank you very much.